All right, back again. This is video 4, video 5, something like that. Done beats perfect. Pull an idea, shoot the video, post it on YouTube. Don't overthink it. And today's topic is mistakes buyers make when writing an offer. Okay, all right. All right, so back again here. So today's video is mistakes buyers make when writing their offer. So I've got 7 mistakes here written out. So we're going to go through each one of these 7 mistakes. So mistake number 1 that buyers make when writing an offer is waiting to write the offer. If you've seen the house, you like the house, you want to write an offer on the house, you should act quick. You or your agent need to act quick. Waiting on it, dragging your feet, that could cost you. It could cost you the opportunity to submit an offer, period. Or it could cost you the time that it may require for you to go back and forth with that seller, that listing agent to submit the offer and then maybe adjust some details to make the offer better. Could be closing date terms, financing information, or maybe you are willing to submit one thing but willing to escalate up. Well, some of those things take some time to go back and forth, and so if you drag your feet, maybe you don't have time to go back and forth on those things. So mistake number 1 would be waiting to submit that offer. Mistake number 2, not being prepared for the realistic competition for a house like that. So real estate these days has become hyper-local in terms of the differences of competition. Across the country, there are some markets that have shifted into a buyer's market. There are some markets that are still super strong COVID-era sellers markets. And then even within those markets, certain areas are very competitive. Certain other areas may not be as competitive. Within a specific area, it could be the same neighborhood. Townhouses and condos may not be selling very well, but the single family houses may be flying off the shelf. Dig even deeper than that. Within a certain neighborhood, the single family houses that are listed above 700 may be sitting a little bit longer, but the ones that are listed below 700 may be, crazy, 5-10 offer competition. So you need to be prepared and realistic about the competition level and not spend your time waiting, writing an offer that is not going to realistically be competitive and worth your time to do so. All right, mistake number 3 that buyers make is not having their financing evidence ready to go when they are writing that offer. So if you are using a loan, not having an up-to-date pre-approval letter from a lender and not having that pre-approval letter ready with as many contingencies off of that pre-approval letter as possible. If you've got time, your lender needs you to turn in documentation rather than just give them numbers. If you've got time, turn that documentation in so that way the lender can get some of those items removed off the pre-approval letter. Make sure it's up to date. These pre-approval letters expire after a certain amount of time, so make sure that your pre-approval letter is current. And then on the flip side, if you were using cash, make sure that you have got a up-to-date bank statement or proof of funds or account statement that shows that you have the money or can access the money in order to execute that cash transaction. So when you're ready to write the offer, you want to make sure that you've got that documentation ready. And this is, relevant a lot of times because houses will come on the market and showings will start end of the week or over the weekend, and you need to write that offer over the weekend. You can't wait till then to then get that documentation from the mortgage lender. You can't wait till then to call your bank or your financial advisor to get them an updated bank statement for you. They may be closed and not working over the weekend, so you can't rely on that. So you want to make sure that you've got all that documentation ready to go ahead of time. All right, reason number 4. kind of piggybacking off of mistake number 3. Mistake number 4, using an unknown lender or a lender with a really poor reputation, and relying on that poor lender or unknown lender, and assuming that they've got everything correct as far as your mortgage pre-approval. So on one hand, some of these online lenders, these 1-800 lenders, the TV commercial, radio commercial lenders, they may be offering great rates, low fees, whatever, but there could be, in exchange for those low costs, there could be a drop in the service level and the attention to detail and the follow-up with getting your loan from contract to close. There also could be hidden fees in there, and in competitive markets, listing agents, when they receive offers, it's not just about the details that are written into the purchase offer, but also the details and the reputation of the lender associated with the pre-approval for the financing you are proposing using for that offer. And so if you are using an unknown lender, if you're using a lender with a poor reputation, or a lender who has a reputation for offering one thing up front in the advertisement, but there's actually a whole bunch of hidden fees and fine print when you get to closing, relying on that lender, using that lender's pre-approval could cost you when writing that offer. All right, mistake number 5. So switching onto the contract, and I'm just thinking, the top of the contract as we work paragraph by paragraph. Paragraph number 2 in the St. Louis contract is about inclusions and exclusions. So it's about personal property and appliances and other things in the house that may be included, guaranteed as part of a standard sale contract versus things that need to be written in as an extra add-on. So one common mistake that buyers make is making incorrect assumptions about the things that are included versus excluded. So if you were assuming certain appliances would be included with the sale of the house, make sure that they are included on your offer. If there are things that you specifically want excluded and removed from the house that normally would stay with the house, but you want them removed, make sure that that is written in as an exclusion. So don't forget those inclusions and exclusions, and don't make incorrect assumptions about those inclusions and exclusions. All right, mistake number 6, this kind of piggybacks off of mistake number 5. Mistake number 6, letting personal property items influence the house purchase decision. So it's a big mistake that buyers make, was they get wrapped up in personal property items, wrapped up in the decorative rugs or the window treatments, or they get wrapped up in non-fixed shelving systems, or furniture or things like that in the house or on the property that are not guaranteed to go with the house, and they let those things basically influence their decision over the entire house. And it's kind of like being penny wise but dollar stupid. You are looking at spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, on this property, but you're letting your decision get swayed by personal property items that cost a few hundred, maybe a couple thousand at best. So don't let yourself get swayed on the big picture, the most expensive part of this, which is the property and the house itself. Don't be swayed over things that only cost a fraction of that, a small percentage of that total cost. So that's mistake number 6, letting those personal property items influence your house purchase decisions. And then lastly, mistake number 7 is ignoring important contract deadlines and not being realistic about being able to meet those deadlines. So if you plan to do a whole bunch of inspections and you've got an inspected pool and you want to do a mold inspection and you want to do a soil test and a bunch of extra inspections, well then don't write in a very, very tight, short inspection window. It's not going to be realistic. When you write in a closing date, make sure that you can actually meet that closing date, as well as you yourself actually be there for that closing date. I've had it happen before where buyers will write in the closing date, and then a few days later they'll be like, oh wait, I forgot, I'm out of town that whole week for work. I can't be there for closing. We can't close on that date. It's like, okay, well, could we have not figured that out before we wrote the offer? So that's another mistake. But it's, beyond that, it could be your financing commitment. Can the lender actually deliver financing commitment by then? It could be earnest money too. People forget about that. The earnest money is typically 5 days. Are you going to get your earnest money turned in within that time period? So that's mistake number 7, is ignoring those important contract deadlines or not being realistic about being able to meet the deadlines that you have written into the offer. So those are 7 mistakes that buyers often make when they are writing an offer to purchase a house. From my experience and my perspective, that is done beats perfect. Video, whatever, I can't remember which video this is, and stay tuned for more.